victims of identity theft. You see, I created the Delta method for streamlining technology and offering a better customer experience. So have the courage to increase your understanding of cybersecurity. Take action on what you learn. You don't want random unknown IT guys. You want matrix force. We protect over $6 billion in assets. This is an important message for everyone with a computer. That's a message I wanted to bring here today at NASDAQ. It's a dangerous place on the internet. Don't be easy prey. If your IT support is not vetted, then you should forget it.
America's top cybersecurity expert on network television, CEO of Matrix Force, and #1 best-selling author of Streamlining Technology, Mr. Kevin Freeman.
Russ Riesinger talks to one cyber expert who calls privacy the biggest issue of our time. Kevin Freeman.
Kevin Freeman is here with us. You just put a book out about this, right?
I did. Came out in August, and it went #1 on Amazon in August.
So obviously, this is an issue.
Keep your information safe from a cyber attack.
It's sitting there idle, just waiting to be owned. Privacy is probably one of the biggest issues of our time. According to the U.S. Department of Justice, 4,000 people are hacked by ransomware every day. If we don't step up and be proactive about our privacy, we're all going to be the victims of identity theft. You see, I created the Delta method for streamlining technology and offering a better customer experience. So have the courage to increase your understanding of cybersecurity. Take action on what you learn. You don't want random unknown IT guys. You want matrix force. We protect over $6 billion in assets. This is an important message for everyone with a computer. That's a message I wanted to bring here today at NASDAQ. It's a dangerous place on the internet. Don't be easy prey. If your IT support is not vetted, then you should forget it.
America's top cybersecurity expert on network television, CEO of Matrix Force, and #1 best-selling author of Streamlining.
Hey, good morning, everyone. I'm Kevin Freeman. Welcome to our monthly series to help 1 million business owners avoid willful neglect and leverage competitive advantage using cybersecurity. Today, we're going to cover a series of stories for Cybersecurity Awareness Month, but what we really want to do is change your behavior. Horror of human error. These are all scary stories of human error, really simple spells that all your employees fall under. The plot of these horror stories all share something very much in common, and we'll cover how to keep your company out of the dark. For those of you who don't know me, my name is a cybersecurity industry trademark. I had the opportunity to work with Fortune 500 firms all over the nation, helping them do dramatically more in dramatically less time. And the biggest part of that was no one could really figure out how to do projects quickly. And that was a culmination of I created the Delta method. And from there, I went on to come back to Oklahoma. And frankly, people were getting robbed. And in 2015, according to the FBI, there were over 1,400 businesses in Oklahoma per month that were being held hostage by ransomware. So I got together with several cybersecurity experts from around the nation, and we wrote Easy Prey. From there, I had the privilege of speaking to worldwide business leaders on stage at Harvard, NASDAQ, Microsoft, and Coca-Cola. You may have also seen my segments on ransomware and identity theft so that everyone could avoid these perils. And that's really my mission, is to help people going forward. And every horror film, or even an action thriller, if you're a fan like me, it's always the same thing. What's the worst that can happen? Well, no one dies using a computer, but lots of lives are ruined and trillions of dollars are lost. The dark web strikes back. Sam's email was involved in a breach and his password was leaked. Unfortunately, like many, Sam used the same password on multiple accounts. A hacker purchased Sam's data on the dark web, and after some research on various social media websites, he found that Sam was in HR at a small accounting firm. Using just his email address and password, the hacker got all of Sam's personal information, all the financials, all the W-2s, and all the company's customer information. The one that will haunt you forever. Jane's construction firm did a lot of work with Jim's Textiles. They were looking to upgrade their contract. Unfortunately, Jane didn't have any access to logs for their network. And unknown to them, the email that she'd gotten from her friend Jim wasn't Jim at all. And a hacker was spying on them for everything they did for months. Jane was in constant communication with the team at Jim's Textiles, and she didn't even notice that one time where they took advantage and said, hey, there's this great offer. This is a significant amount of money. We're going to offer you 10% off. Jane paid that day and took advantage, but it didn't go to the vendor. She needed this contract to keep the doors open, and she ended up having to pay the money anyway. Under ransom spell, Phil opened what he thought was the latest Excel spreadsheet. Uh-oh, the screen went blank. All the work he had diligently gone and done was gone. And then a warning popped up that said, your files are locked, pay $150,000 in ransomware. He started hearing murmurs from his colleagues around him. Then his boss panicked and called him, but Phil didn't know what to say. Turns out it was a ransomware attack, and the company had stopped doing backups a year ago. It was to either pay $150,000 in ransom or lose everything that everyone in the company had worked for the last year. And even if they paid the ransom, there was no guarantee that they would get their data back. A ghoulish mistake. Craig works in marketing at a local hospital. Much like everyone does, to try to be more personal, to show that they're real people, you have a real story and a human connection, he took some photos that seemed harmless and put them on social media. Craig had no idea that he was capturing computer screens with personally identifiable information. A patient named Gwen saw the photo on social media and noticed that her medical chart was there. A complaint was filed with the Office of Civil Rights, and that hospital ended up in violation of HIPAA laws and had to pay a $1.5 million fine. The one that got lost. Avery lost his phone on a delivery to a client. He was using his phone because he didn't want to lug around the heavy laptop. Now, Avery didn't know that there was a policy to tell management that he was using a personal device, or that he was supposed to report if he lost a device. Someone found his phone on the sidewalk and sold it on the Facebook marketplace, and it had all the company's data and their customer information. So think to yourself of all the things that you have and that you deal with and the people that you deal with. And what do all these stories really have in common? Probably not what you think. The two main things are that these are accidental, but more importantly, they are preventable. People are busy. They make mistakes. Many simply aren't aware of the different vulnerabilities that are out there or what could really happen. With just a little bit of support and encouragement and awareness, all of these could be prevented. Company policies and procedures lets the awareness for employees go up tremendously. Cybersecurity awareness training will teach people what to look for, and all of these things can be avoided. Now, it sounds real simple. Usually it's a 5 or 6 step program. You always start with cyber insurance. The first thing you have to have is a risk program, and you can't really assume that people know what they need to for risk for customers, much less their own personal safety. Email is still the #1 financial risk that's out there. Almost nobody knows what MFA is today. It's simply multi-factor authentication. To put very simply, it's just password protection. Everybody is usually left out in the dark, and it's a surprise until the story comes up on CNN. And then you can't really check your own work, just like your accountant can't really do their own audit for the IRS. It's the same thing for cybersecurity. Now, staying out of the dark. You could take different tools and solutions and implement each of these over a span of days, months, or years, and that's time, money, and resources. We can help you to focus on your business instead, and we have a lot of programs that do this. Today, for the first 5, we're giving free data breach training that's usually a $2,000 value. In addition to that, we would like to offer everyone to join and do your part, especially in this Cybersecurity Awareness Month, and help our mission of 1 million people to avoid willful neglect. So we have a special offer for 50% off a vulnerability exam. And it's the #1 thing that's required if you're going to get cyber insurance. Now, at this point, I'll open up for questions. And the thing that I would point out, if you go to matrixforce.com and if you'd like to schedule with me personally, you can just hit the green button and schedule a consult. If you just have some questions or some interest, you can send an email to sales@matrixforce.com. Now, I have some questions to turn around for you, and maybe for a little bit of pause for thought. Do you have MFA for email and sensitive information? Do you have backups, and are you sure that they work? Do you have up-to-date antivirus on all computers? Do you have a written and documented breach response for ransomware or any kind of security incident? And do you have an up-to-date and active firewall technology? If you can't, for certain, as a non-technical person, say yes to all of those, and you're filling out cybersecurity insurance forms, then it's called a pre-existing condition, just like healthcare. You're going to be denied, or if you do get insurance, any claims are going to be denied. Hope you learned a few things here on today's segment, and please reach out to me on LinkedIn. And thank you all very much. And remember, only you can stop a data breach.